India is now ready to tame the dragon. As we know, even the backdrop of the 19th round of talks with China that's due to begin on the sidelines of G20, a new fighter base equipped with modern drones is coming up at Neoma Air Base, less than 50 kilometers from the line of actual control, to take on the Chinese aggression in Ladakh. The heightened deployment of troops, tanks and ammunition still continue as a complete de-escalation or de-induction has not happened in the region. The Indian Air Force has also inducted its latest Heron Mark II drones, which have strike capabilities and can carry out surveillance along the borders with both China and Pakistan in a single sortie itself. Of course, this is a massive boost to the Indian Air Force. This comes right in the backdrop of the India-China 19th round of Corps Commander level talks that's happening today to resolve the ongoing military standoff between the two nations. Now, this time, India would be pressing for disengagement of Chinese army from the Depsang area, that is along the Eastern Ladakh front. Notably, this comes in the back of Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Modi's meet that's expected to take place on that will be held in India this September. Let me cut across to Abhishek. Abhishek, give us more on the new airbase along the very close to the line. It's of course given much strength to after the standoff that happened recently with China.
Well, this will be a big boost to India's military capabilities in Ladakh. As of now, there are two fighter aircraft bases, one in Thois, the other in Leh. And the third one, which is coming up, India Today has learned in Neoma, which is more than 13,000 feet, barely 50 kilometers from the line of actual control. What this will mean in time to come is that the response time for the Indian Air Force will reduce considerably, because the Indian Air Force wants capabilities to respond quickly, especially in wake of the aggression that has been shown by China over the last 2 to 3 years since the tension started in Ladakh. There have been several cases when Chinese fighter aircraft have come close to the Indian borders. China has ramped up several air bases across Ladakh. So in response to that, India wants to make sure they also have military capabilities close to the LAC to operate fighter jets and combat drones like the Heron Mark II.
Abhishek, at this point, we see that the G20 meet is going to have engagements between Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping, and India is going to be stern on its stand on disengagement by Chinese troops along the Depsang area. Is that right?
Well, for the last 3 years, since May 2020, when tensions started, there were ugly clashes, face-offs between Indian and Chinese troops. Something like that has not happened in the last few months. But as far as the situation is concerned, there was a heavy deployment done by both sides. In fact, India airlifted more than 68,000 troops who are still forward deployed. There was a deployment of 300 plus armored personnel vehicles, which are also called infantry combat vehicles. There were tanks that were transported to forward locations, artillery guns. So all of that still exists. So while there has been a disengagement from some of the friction points, but the larger de-escalation or de-induction has still not happened. While disengagement has happened from some of the friction points, but areas like Depsang Plain and Demchok, which China says predates the clashes and the face-offs of 2020, India has been insisting that there needs to be disengagement from those areas as well. But China has been dragging its feet, and that's what is creating a stalemate-like situation, and tensions still prevail in Eastern Ladakh, even though there are no ugly clashes.
All right, Abhishek, thank you very much for joining us.